All right, guys, we got to talk about this fascinating story from this content creator, okay, who's coming to the harsh lesson, okay, just reading her caption here. Men generally do not care about your accomplishments if they don't find you attractive. As a woman, you have to maintain your appearance no matter what, okay? So she's coming to the realization that although she has her degrees, diplomas, what have you, okay, she's highly educated, men more or less are looking at the physical appearance. Okay, that's kind of what they're gravitating towards, especially if they're seeing a woman on the street or just interacting with a woman in a relationship, a marriage, what have you. Men are more or less visual creatures. Okay, so she's coming to that realization, okay, that harsh lesson, as she puts it in her caption here. But let's go to roll the clip. Let's take a look.
Harshest realities I ever, had to come to is realizing that men do not care about your accomplishments as a woman. They don't care about your education. They don't care about your degrees. They don't care about how much money you're making. They don't care about, what businesses you're running. They don't care about any of that stuff. If they do not find you attractive, they will not go out of their way for you whatsoever. They will walk right past you to a beautiful woman. And the thing about it is, the sooner you realize that and accept it, you won't even get offended by it. Because the thing about it, men and women are just wired differently. A real man doesn't really have to care what a woman has going on. If he has, money.
Yo, when a woman says a real man, I already know what you guys are going to say in the comment section, but yeah, you know how that goes. But let's continue. Let's see what she has to say.
He has education, all that kind of stuff. It's not you can't even really fault it. Men have the luxury, because for the most part across, I don't even know if I would go as far as saying across the world, but for the most part in most communities, men make more money than women. So they have the luxury of being able to date for things outside of stability, even general, sometimes even compatibility. They can date for whatever reason they want to, whereas women, sometimes we're looking for other stuff. We can have $1 million in the bank. A lot of women would still want a man that has more money than them, or has something equal or something similar. I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women, because they're just scared. They know it makes them an easy target for men that are leeches and moochers and, just want to use them. But men, they just are wired differently. They can go after what's beautiful. So realizing that as a woman, I also had to come to the other harsh reality of what my grandmother told me when I was maybe 14 or 15. She told me that you have to maintain your appearance as a woman until the day you die. And I know some of y'all are thinking well, damn, Taylor, you didn't listen. I don't wear makeup all the time, but I still kind of feel like I'm put together. I always have good hygiene. I always maintain, a certain level of fitness. Y'all know my mother died. She had a stroke when I was 13. So I always try to maintain a certain level of fitness. But she told me that you have to be it all, or you have to you can be funny, you can be smart, you can be strong, you can be, all of these other things, but you can never neglect your appearance in the process.
Interesting thing about this, as she continues, her grandmother is 90 something years old. Okay, so men more or less have been saying the same thing for decades. We have remained the same, more or less, in regards to what we find attractive and desirable in a woman. Okay, it's women that have changed over time. Their needs, wants, and desires have changed. Yes, there's going to be baseline things of wanting a man to protect and provide, right? But we're seeing things like he has to be 6'7", or he has to have a boat, or, he has to have these miscellaneous things, these vanity things that mean absolutely nothing. Men will take a woman working at Walmart with a gym membership, and she's cooperative and pleasant to be around.
Coming to that realization, wow, as a woman, you always have to maintain your appearance, because it's just, there's so much currency in a woman's appearance. And I'm going to tell you one other thing. My grandmother is 94 years old. She's a woman who's always taking care of herself physically. she always told me, don't let your kids stress you out, don't let your husband stress you out, don't let your job stress you out. And I'm telling you right now, every time I go out with my grandmother, she always gets compliments on her looks. People never believe her age. She gets hit on by men at 94 years old. She's still getting hit on, which is crazy to me, but it happens. And I understand now that like beautiful women are always going to have options. Okay? So like at the very most, a man who can get a beautiful woman that's also smart, funny, and all that other stuff, he's gonna feel like he hit the jackpot. But if you're a woman that never really puts much effort into their appearance, you don't maintain your fitness, you don't really, try to dress in a way that's, where you at least look polished. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to look like a Barbie doll. Some people prefer a more natural look. You don't have to have a super exaggerated body or anything like that either. But if you don't look put together or they don't find you attractive, it's hard, like dating. It is.
The other component that she's leaving out, although being attractive is important, okay, that will get a man through the front door and to, court you and things of that nature, potentially. But the other component is she has to be submissive, right? She has to be cooperative. She has to be pleasant and friendly to be around. Okay, so although she's on the right track and, she's talking about being fit, which I support, that's only part of the equation. Okay, the other part after the post-nut clarity, do I want to stick around beyond just the physical? I think that's kind of the next step going into the situation if you're looking at marriage, so on and so forth. But let's keep going.
And like I said, men are just wired differently. They're built differently. They have the luxury of being able to date just for looks, whereas women, we're looking for more than that. Okay?
Luxury is crazy.
If you're a woman that has money, education, can provide for themselves, all of this kind of stuff, but you don't do anything to maintain your appearance, unfortunately, you're going to attract sometimes the wrong men. I see it all the time. Like, you might attract the pretty men, but you're going to have to take care of them physically, financially, all of that kind of stuff. They will mooch off of you. They will lie to you. They will abuse you. They will do all of this other stuff. They will try to control your finances. They will splurge on other women on your dime. I've seen it happen. Okay? And ask any woman who's maybe had an extreme like weight loss or done something to their self physically. Like, for instance, maybe they got their teeth done. Maybe they changed their hair. Maybe they got their breasts done. Maybe they got like a liposuction, something like that. Ask them if their quality of men or the type of men that they attracted once they made those physical changes changed. Ask them. And the thing about it is, it made me sick to my stomach, like coming to this realization, because I've always been a woman that prided herself on being like smart and I think that I'm funny and I think that I have a lot of things going on for me, but men just do not care about stuff like that. They really don't. Like I said, you have to either have both or just be beautiful. You can't have all of this stuff and not be attractive, because men will, like I said, they will walk right past you unless they're the type that is going to mooch and just take advantage. Not a lot of these men are just so shallow. It's disgusting. Like, it's disgusting, but I've just grown to accept it.
What does she mean by that? Let's continue here, because I don't know if she's saying that men are shallow because they want a woman that's beautiful and attractive, or is she talking about the guys that will potentially use you if you're a woman then you got stuff going on? Like, I'm trying to figure out what she's talking about here, but let's keep going.
And fortunately for me, outside of how you see me right now, fortunately for me, I've always been a woman that's known how to put themselves together. I always have known how to do my own hair, always have known how to do makeup, always have tried to maintain my shape, my figure, whatever. I think I have like a more temperamental well, not temperamental. I would say I have like a more subtle personality when it comes to like dealing with men. For the most part, men that I'm interested in. People that I'm not super interested in, I'll be a little bit more you know, but men that I'm interested in, I know how to just like sit back and just be a girl, you know. I know how to say thank you, I know how to say please, I know how to just not argue all the time, not make a big deal about things that aren't super important to me. Like sometimes if I sit back and be like, okay, I'll let him have this, it's not a big deal, like, you know, I don't always go back and forth. But the thing about it is, it's still kind of just rough to spend so much time like on yourself, developing yourself. And the truth of the matter is just the way that society is, a lot of men just don't care about that kind of stuff. So I always like to come and share like positive stuff, but I don't always have something positive to say, unfortunately. That was just a lesson that I learned, and hopefully maybe you guys can maybe chime off in the comments and tell me if that's been your experience, or you figured that out as well, that like men, they just don't really care about all of these accomplishments and stuff like that. As a woman, that's just something that you have to pride on for yourself. Like, I have a bachelor's in chemistry, I have a master's in chemistry, I work in real estate, I have you know, what do I say, wait, what else do I do? Oh, I work in tech sales and stuff. I almost forgot that. And literally, I'm like at my job right now. But I do all of this stuff, and I've always been able to, you know, take care of myself. I know how to cook. I know how to clean. I know how to, I'm like a real adult. Like, my family put a lot into me, and I put a lot into myself. Like, you know, just learning things and being curious about life. And when it comes down to it, a lot of men just want like a pretty woman that's pleasant to be around, because they have that luxury of not really having to care about the other stuff. If you have it and you're beautiful on top, then they really care. But if you're, you know, have it but you're not really super attractive to them, they don't find you attractive, they will walk right past you, or maybe they'll get with you and use you, like I said, for some of this stuff, if they're not a decent guy. But they'll always, you'll always feel like something's missing, because it's like, if you're not their dream girl, they're not going to go out of their way. So,
all right, guys, so there you have it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think. Okay, it seems like she's kind of coping with reality when it comes to what a man would want. Okay, she's acknowledging it, but it seems like she doesn't like it whatsoever. Okay, she is in slight denial. Okay, ever so slightly denial at the fact that how could a man pass up on a catch like me? Masters, real estate, this, that, tech sales, right? I got degrees on top of degrees, right? I'm stacking them up. And how dare a man not find that attractive? That's what I'm kind of gathering from this video. It seems like she has one foot in, one foot out when it comes to what's happening in the single dating market. And hey, you know, the women that are adapting and coming to the realization, this is what the market is, you know, putting out there in regards to how I can get a high value, high productive, high capable man, a husband, a boyfriend, so on and so forth. Therefore, I'm going to adapt and make the adjustments as I need to in order to get the outcome that I want. Okay, it's very, very simple. The women that are adapting and making the adjustments are going to be the ones that are going to get picked. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, acknowledging it is the first step. So I'll give her some credit there. But you actually have to do, right? You gotta apply what you know. Okay, knowing is not enough. You actually have to put the work in to get the outcome that you want. All right, guys, let's go and check out some of these comments. First commenter says, never understood why this was so hard to understand. All right, guys, so next commenter says, I understood this after losing 100 pounds. I make 70K with a master's. He makes over 500K. He laughed and said, I can retire after the wedding. All right, so next commenter says, most of them are vain and surface level. Next commenter says, it's a woman's job to never let herself go. That's why I'm single. I needed time to focus on me. All right, so next commenter says, Kevin Samuels been saying that. That's the one thing I learned from him. All right, so next commenter says, they don't care about nothing, to be honest. All right, guys, so there you have it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Go ahead and provide me some feedback. And until next time.